Since I work for a school district, my community is mainly students. And one of the programs that our librarians promote and support is Battle of the Books. And one of my jobs is to be the district coordinator of Battle of the Books. And it always amazes me the things that students can recall from the 12 to 15 books that they read on their lists each year. And I've been working with Battle of the Books for a long time, have loved the program, but this year I was inspired anew by one of our 3rd and 4th grade teams. We have a school at Port Graham, which is one of our across the water schools where there are 28 kids, K through 12. And one 4th grade boy was their 3rd and 4th grade team. And I read questions for one of their battles, and he introduced himself as the spokesperson, the recorder, and the main brain of their team. And he was simply fabulous, an excellent reader, and he ended up getting 3rd out of 23 teams in our school district. And while not to take anything away from any of the other kids, because they all work super hard, it was amazing to see one kid love reading so much that he went it on his own. And it's just awesome to know that libraries and librarians support that.
Well, I try to run a student-centered library, and I have one story where a Coast Guard girl came in and she was a new student, and so I'm one of the first persons she sees getting her textbooks, and then as the year went on she brought in a paper for me to edit, and she loved poetry, so I helped her find poetry books. This year she came back to the library and I had the library door closed. She knocked on the door, and when I opened the door she started crying and said, "I need a hug." She's been out of school for 3 years now. I don't remember if I said that. She has a little boy of her own. And so she said her mother wasn't home and she needed a hug.
There are so few public places in our community that are available. We had a family who had a very difficult divorce, and the wife was only allowed to visit with her 2 children when she was in a public place and with people who were employed by a government agency. So it was the library. And it was just very heartwarming to be able to be there and see her interact with her children and be able to see them. And I think that was one of the highlights of my experience as a librarian.
The patron that came into the library was telling me about her daughter, who is since deceased. When she was young, she was very, very shy, and she didn't interact with a lot of people. And we have a fiber arts group that comes to the library every Friday, and she was very intrigued by this group. And she came in and she learned how to knit and sew and crochet and a lot of other activities. To this date, her mother still holds the library near and dear to her heart, because when her daughter came home every Friday after these classes, she'd come home and tell her mother and show her mother all the activities that she had learned.
I know that public libraries are economic drivers, and I know that from when I was working on a reference desk one day and a gentleman came in and he had a story to tell, and his story was his family had gone camping and they were like bears running through the campsite again and again and again. They didn't have a really relaxing night. And they went home and they pulled into their driveway, and as they pulled into the driveway, their car set off the motion-activated light. And he had this idea of creating a motion-activated bear detector for taking camping. And what he said to me was, I want to do a patent search, and then I want to do a trademark search, and then I want to do a copyright search for the packaging. And we did all 3 of those things. And 8 months later, he came in and he handed me his motion-activated, patented, Bart the Bear on the packaging bear detector. That's an economic driver, and that's what public libraries do for our communities.